Hello and welcome back to my strictly unprofessional YouTube perfume channel called Sniffin' Around. I'm not a professional perfume reviewer, I just love buying some discount sets or discovery sets, so join me in my perfume analyzing adventure of a novice. There are two main reasons behind the video I'm filming today. So we're almost at Christmas in the Catholic world. Here in Georgia, we do not celebrate it as everyone does. We celebrate it post-New Year, but still I already have the mood. And the most New Year's scent that you can ever imagine is this little guy here. We call it mandarin, some call it clementine, and also a lemon. So all the dishes on the New Year include these two little guys. So today I will be reviewing the citrus scents. And the other reason is that I'm planning a big trip in Asia the next year, like starting in January. And so now I'm thinking which scents would be wearable in the very hot climate and humid as well. So join me in my adventure of analyzing citrus scents today. I must admit that citruses absolutely prevail in my collection in terms of numbers. Not that I have a very big collection, but still I have some. And I have at least 6 to 8 citrus scents. I will not be reviewing all of them, but the most important ones for me. My signature scent for many years has been this little guy. I don't have a full bottle so far. I will definitely buy it again. So this is Mandarin Basilic from Agua Allegoria Guerlain. The nose behind this fragrance is Marisa Laman, who also created some of the Cucci Flora scents, including my lovely Magnolia one. But that's another story. So Mandarin Basilic is the most accurate portrayal of Mandarin ever created. Prove me wrong. When I smell it, it's clearly a mandarin. And yes, of course, it has some basilic in it, but it's really like if you just peeled off the mandarin cover and are about to bite it. It reflects to me the New Year mood as a whole. So when I think of New Year, I think of Mandarin Basilic from Guerlain. I've also worn it a lot in summer. Its longevity could definitely be better. I mean, it's such a light, airy, watery fragrance. And I've smelled the harder version of it, the Aqua Forte, I guess it's called. The Forte version is not for me because it's more woody, more dry, and it lacks the initial aquatic feeling of this wonderful mandarin. If you look at the notes, and I don't really like looking at the notes because it's different for everyone, it has at least 3 kinds of mandarin to it. I only smell like one because I can't distinguish between different mandarins actually. But there's also a slight hint of tea to it, which is mentioned in the notes. And I also smell chamomile, and despite not loving chamomile, it's very beautiful here. It evaporates within 2 hours, but it's worth the price, I guess. So Mandarin Basilic is my all-time favorite citrusy mandarin scent. The second scent I'll be talking about is tea-inspired but very citrusy, as it always happens with bergamot. It's called Nice Bergamot and it was created by Antoine Maisondieu. I'm sorry for my French again. He was behind some of the best scents for Comme des Garçons, and also he created several ones for Burberry and Etat Libre d'Orange, Jasmine and Tobacco, for instance. So if we spray this one, the opening is very citrusy. This is why I included it here and not in the tea one that I plan to film later. So to me, it's a very variable, very light scent, same as Mandarin Basilic. Let me just quickly give it a try again. It's slightly different from Mandarin Basilic is that it really has this hint of jasmine in it. And I also saw ylang ylang mentioned. I don't really feel it here, but to me it's very, very citrusy at the opening. Has some white flowers to it as like blossom and jasmine. And the dry down is really tea-like if you were drinking your morning cup of tea with bergamot and all included, this good black tea. This is so variable. Same as Maisondieu's scent for Comme des Garçons. He's created this ones with the, heart-shaped bottles. I think they're called red, black, and green, I guess. So if you go for very wearable daily scents, Mandarin Basilic and Nice Bergamot might be your choice. Okay, so the next group of perfumes is for those who still want to wear something light and citrusy, but add some more complexity to it. I don't even need to smell it or spray it to guess what it is. It's been my signature scent for many years, for 8 years to be precise, since my friend brought it to me from a work trip to London. It's Terre d'Hermès. Many consider it masculine. I don't think so. I think it's one of the most unisex scents out there. The nose behind the fragrance is Jean-Claude Ellena. He did a lot for Hermès and other brands, such as Frédéric Malle. I have several perfumes from Frédéric Malle as well, but that's the whole another story. And Ellena created also Ambre de Merveilles and many Herbe scents for Hermès. What's absolutely perfect about Terre d'Hermès, I only have this small bottle because I gave the big one to my dad, who is a big fan of the scent. He even exchanged his Forever Love Fahrenheit for it. So, what is special about this scent is that it's not only citrusy, but also very woody in the dry down. You can really smell vetiver, and while vetiver could be pissy for someone, and it is for me after COVID, here in Terre d'Hermès, it's very modern, I would say. So, actually, let me spray it. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I used it so much that I got used to it, and now I only can use it on my bath clothes because wearing it outside is a little bit too much for me. But really, you sense lemon, you sense bergamot, you sense even probably slight notes of mandarin, but it's, as I said, super woody and green. It has some dreamy, distant feeling for it, as if you were smelling mandarins or lemons from a long distance, not like in front of your face, like with Nice Bergamot or Mandarin Basilic. To me, it's absolutely perfect for office wearing or wearing if you're traveling by transport, because it's not very noisy, it doesn't have a lot of sillage to it, but it lasts forever. I gave one bottle that I had three actually, to my friend, and she's wearing it daytime, and I can always say, like by a slight note of citrus and wood behind her, that she's wearing Hermès today. Very recommendable. The next one in this group I'll be talking about is Essential Parfums again. It's not as easy and understandable as Nice Bergamot is. It is more of a citrus plus woody scent, same as Hermès is. I only have a small version of it so far. I'm still considering to buy a food bottle, but I think it will still be Mandarin Basilic, and I'll explain why. So, let us spray it. It's very, very citrusy. So if Hermès is something smelled from a big distance, this is like lemon straight to your face. Maybe not even lemon, maybe some bloody orange or something like this, or even grapefruit. Different people send different things in it. And at the dry down, it becomes really very woody. Not green like Hermès, but woody. Let me smell it again. Some people on Fragrantica complain that the dry down comes too quick, but we all know that citrus scents are not very long lasting. I won't speak much about the nose behind the fragrance, Gracie Setou, Natalie Gracie Setou, because I don't really know her work apart from Ex Nihilo, Barbary, and some of the Chloe scents. I think she made Love by Chloe. But I wouldn't say it's masculine or feminine. It's very neutral, but it's very complex in comparison to Mandarin Basilic and even Hermès. So if you want something that is different at the opening and at the dry down, you could definitely give a try. To me, Orange Santal is something that smells of the evening perfume. Maybe even, orange vodka or some cocktails, because it has this woody hint to it. It's a bit harsh, but I really like it. Finally, I have two niche perfumes for this review. I don't really think that citrus perfumes should be niche. I mean, the longevity is poor, they're quite simple, you don't have to pay such amount of money for a perfume that barely smells of something complex. But yet still, in my collection, I have two very interesting perfumes that are truly niche, but bear some citrus associations to it. The first one is from the Swedish brand that is called Björk and Berries. It calls itself 100% natural. I don't really know much about it. My Georgian friend, who is a big fan of niche perfumery, has brought me a sample. You can see it's not an official sample, that's just brought by someone. And this one is called Solstice, and this smell is very Scandinavian. It's not only citrus, very bright at the opening, it's also some kind of northern berry. It resembles, the Never Stopping Light, something very summery, very, very fresh, and slightly masculine, to be honest, to me. It's very, very sharp at the opening. That's why I call it masculine. Let's give it a spray as I still have the free space on my hands. Yeah, it smells like an old cologne, maybe like a bitter lemon. But in the dry down, you really start sensing the notes that are mentioned in the pyramid. So there is some orange blossom, there are some white flowers, and as I mentioned, I am myself from the north, and I really smell some northern berries in it. It starts really on the male side, and the closer to the dry down it gets, the more masculine it becomes. Like every niche fragrance, it's quite complex. I do not recommend a blind buy. Go give it a try. It's hard to find, but it's totally worth it. Jesus, by the end of this video, I really started smelling like a Christmas tree. As I mentioned, we have mandarins everywhere, even on the Christmas tree as toys, like the decorations. So yeah, I really do smell like a Christmas tree. And the last niche fragrance that I'm going to review, last but not least, is Byredo, Sandy Cologne. I actually have a love-hate relationship with Byredo. I don't understand most of their scents. They're very chemical to me. They have very poor longevity for the price. But Sandy Cologne somehow caught me. I even have the small version of it, and I sometimes recommend it to my male friends who are not really into perfumery but are searching for some signature scent or citrus scent, like a go-to one to go to the office, etc. Let's give it a small spray. Last free space on my hand today. Jeez, wrong side. It's so sharp and bitter at the opening. I sprayed some to my fingers, and it really smells as if I was using some citric acid. It's crazy. I mean, it's so citrusy. It's like a bitter lemon, like if you were peeling a lemon right now, with the peeler. This is the smell. And when it dries down, it becomes really, really chemical, as most of the Byredo scents do, but not in an unpleasant way. I've seen some people on Fragrantica giving it poor reviews because it smells like an air freshener in the toilet, and I guess it's the anise note that gives this kind of feeling. Also, there are notes of incense and lavender mentioned in the pyramid. To me, they barely even exist in the scent. It's very much about the lemon and the anise. And while I understand it can smell for the travelers at the toilet in somewhere in Middle Asia, to me it's not. If you wanna put your hands on Byredo and try something that is not too complex and not too, niche, give it a try. Personally, I don't really like the note of vetiver after I had severe COVID, because to me it smells of burnt resin, it's busy, etc. And the dry down in Sandy Cologne by Byredo is mentioned as vetivery one, and to me it's not. It is still the bitter lemon as from the opening, just not that bright. As a conclusion to this Christmas citrusy video, I must say that I'm taking orange accental, nice bergamot, and probably mandarin basilic with me to the Asian trip, along with some tea and white flower scents, but this will be the topic of my other video that is upcoming. Actually, I'm going to film it right after this. Please let me know in the comments section what you're thinking about the perfumes that I've reviewed. Mention your favorite citrusy fragrances. I am very interested and looking forward to your comments. Thank you so much for staying with me.